move to be less dependent upon China, even with our own ore. I yield back.
Thank you very much. Next up, the representative from New Jersey, Mr. Vandrew.
Mr. Chairman, I thank you for having me here today. I don't know how to say it, but I guess just to say it, Director Klein, I don't agree with what you and your company is doing. And while BOEM continues to approve offshore wind lease areas at what I would call blinding rates, we've seen a wide array of those involved in the offshore wind process continue to express concerns about its current implementation. And you don't have to take that from me. You know, I have my own sense of what it's going to do to tourism, what it's going to do to so many aspects of the economy, so many aspects of the environment. But let's hear what a few people say. Direct quotes, no editorial work done by me. BOEM, NOAA, and ROTA came out with a report, and I'm sure you know about it. In their own report, they released a report that said there is, quote, an enormous amount of research that is still needed in order to understand the impact of offshore wind on our environment and our fisheries. And by the way, does anybody care about the fishermen? The people, I think, do. Maritime Transit, who worry of offshore wind's impacts when BOEM's own EISs claim impacts of industrial offshore wind on navigation and vessel traffic would be, quote, I'm not editorializing, it would be major, that it would increase the risk of collisions, which could result in, quote, personal injury or loss of life. The Pentagon recently came out with a report. They revealed how multiple offshore wind leases lie directly on top of, quote, highly problematic areas that might harm our national security. You can't make this stuff up. I'm just going, and I haven't even done a completely thorough investigation into this. The Coast Guard, who warn of radar interference from turbines and its potential impact on search and rescue operations. Fishermen, who worry that their entire industry is at risk of being eliminated, which it has been in many parts of Europe, due to offshore wind. The weather sector, people are concerned what's going to happen, know that where these windmills are now, you don't have hurricanes. We have some pretty good hurricanes out here I'll just talk about the area I know best, the east coast of the United States of America, the area where I live, right along the shore. Coastal communities who are worried about the destruction of their pristine coastlines and impacts to the tourism industry. I want the committee to understand there's going to be over, just in the beginning, 2 million acres of these things. There's going to be thousands of them. And this is just the beginning. It's just the start. Now, you'd have to know New Jersey and New York and our whole coastal area a little better to know how important tourism is. It is the main industry that we have. And when you have 1,000-foot high windmills with lights on top of them that actually make noise when they're all whirring together. And the loss to the birds. I'm sure you saw, maybe you didn't, you should have seen it, the eviscerated bald eagles that got sucked up into the wind turbines. We used to care about those things. We used to care about those things. That used to be what the environment was. And environmentalists, many of whom, the ones that haven't gotten special funding, who are alarmed at the rate at which marine mammals are washing ashore near our offshore wind surveying sites where the surveys were done. And, people say, oh, it just happens. No, we once in a while have had a whale that beached on our shores, but not dozens of whales, not dozens of porpoises. We don't even know why. They haven't even really started yet. They're going to be digging trenches on the ocean floor. They're going to be in the cold pool, which is one of the most environmentally sensitive areas there are. And the hundreds of thousands of coastal citizens, you ought to see it where I live, because I'm telling you, people are getting mad. They are getting mad. You see signs everywhere to stop the windmills. You see people talk about the fact that they just don't want this in their communities. Some are as close as 9 miles away. So my first question is simple, because I don't want to go on and on. If all these stakeholders in your own agency continue to express numerous concerns about offshore wind, do you believe BOEM has done due diligence in properly assessing the impacts of offshore wind? Do you really believe they've done due diligence?
Thank you for the question. I think from the very beginning of the process that BOEM uses to identify places that seem ripe for this type of development, they ensure that they are identifying areas for lease that would minimize the amount of impacts to the environment and to other ocean users, and really throughout the process.
I only
we
have a few
ensure-
seconds left, so I want to say this to you. You know, I spoke to you folks a long time ago. I was originally thought it sounded like a really neat idea, not you all, but others. And so I said, will you at least try to work with the fishermen who are going to lose their business? You know, it's always bad to destroy another business to create another one. It's wrong. And I said, and I asked afterward, did you speak with them? Yes. Did you have a good conversation? Yes, we worked everything out. We had a hearing, not the recent one. We had a hearing years ago in our area, 150 fishermen there. I asked, how many people did BOEM speak to? These were the major commercial fishermen in the area. 3 people raised their hand, and those 3 people actually worked for Ørsted, the company itself. So I guess, do I have time more, or do I have to yield back my time? Mr. Chairman, do I still have some more time?
I would quickly wrap it up.
Okay. That's your nice way of saying it. So I think you're going to hear more from me. I think you're going to hear not from hundreds, but tens of thousands of residents who don't want this. I think you're going to hear from leaders. We currently have dozens upon dozens of mayors who've even been offered money not to shut up, but still have put their mouth where the truth is and have actually said that this is wrong and it's bad for our area. We have people that are standing up and telling the truth. This is going to cause way more harm than good. It's not good for our area, and we don't want it in New Jersey particularly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Next up, Mr. Graves from Louisiana for 5 minutes.